So, like I said, size 18, which is a little small. See what?
That's challenging. It's a good one to watch, that is.
Okay. First off, I gotta get the hook apart. I'm using Daiichi 110. It's or 1110, I guess I should say. And straight eye. I like straight eye. I don't know why it is, but come on. I can't get to go through the barbs here. Oh, I forgot my pliers, so normally is there? And when I say size 18, it's not as difficult as it sounds, believe it or not. It's harder putting it in the vise than it is. You have to bear with me. The top one, Mike? Top screw to tighten it up, or bottom?
Bottom one to tighten it up. The top one is loosening.
It's been so long since I used a good vise that,
And you have to deal with those Swiss vices.
yeah.
Not a good voice?
So, I have a little bit of poly. You guys really missed out at the January program. This, Don was selling this for $10. And I'm telling you, you should have picked it up when you had the chance, because I mean, it's got, you name it, it's in there. So the tail was brown, so I happen to have some brown here. And we'll just trim that off just a little bit. We don't need a whole bunch. And if you notice, you can see that there's got a little bit of a split in there from, it's got kind of divisions in it anyway, so you can make it pretty near as thick as you want. So with it being a size 18, we'll use just a smaller portion of it. I'm just going to move this out of the way. I can see me knocking it off already. So what I'm going to do is just about the length of the shaft, or thereabouts. And the beauty of this is, if you think it's too long, you can trim it off where you can't do the most I've actually had fun with working with Polly this year, and that's material, not the lady.
That was your optometrist.
What's that? No, proctologist. No, that's what I said. My
I'm not wearing a magnifier in tiny 18s. I'm impressed, Dennis.
There you go, eh? I can tie them smaller yet without putting on a...
He doesn't have to see what he's doing when he's
That's right. Yeah, that's right, man. And something I noticed too is with this, try as best you can to get as center as you can on your hook, because I found that if you got a little off center, it did tip it down front ways. So I really made a concerted effort to put it pretty close to the middle, okay? So, and like all us blind guys, white. This is the only material that I use for wings, is poly. As Mike said, you can't beat it. You can make this any size you want. You can do everything with it. It's a magic material for fly tires, guys. I tell you, you should have got $10. And I'll bet you if you got a hold of Don.
Give me 10 bucks, Bob.
No, hey. Likely.
Yeah, he's backing up.
No, hey, $10. No, not a problem.
And Don's still...
Don will sell it to you for $10. Like got Don Anderson, and all of us going to Mirror Lake.
Yeah, Don
All the money bought, yeah, yeah,
Oh, you're gonna see it for $5
yeah, no,
On the weekend.
he put it on
Living
the,
up here now, or what?
what's that?
Is he living up here?
No, he's in Rocky, but he comes down every January for the seminars.
Oh, yeah.
So I cut off a chunk here, not very, I guess I better put it this way, not very big of a chunk anyways. And with my parachutes, guys, I do cheat. I'm sorry, but I use this stuff.
Oh, the Ultra.
Yeah, and it's the gel, the liquid, I find it soaks right into the wing, the gel doesn't. You put it where you put it, and that's where it stays, and it doesn't soak into the wing at all. Which is, you know, a lot of times when I was using the liquid, it would get hard 3/4 of the way up the.
How do you keep it when you're using it from getting hard? I mean, I take
It doesn't get hard, period. This one here, I've had it off for 2 weeks or longer, and it's still not hard inside. It doesn't do that. For me anyways, I don't know. I've heard other guys saying the same thing. They leave the lid off for a day, and it's harder than, yeah. You're just not holding your mouth right, Bob.
I guess. Or across the line or something.
I've got 2 or 3 bottles.
But that's the pages, eh?
This is LePage's, yeah. That Loctite is LePage's too, I think, isn't it? Yeah, that's all I use.
You get a
But use
Connect
the gel. What's that?
Connect tire?
Oh, Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Rona. I even use that new one, the Gorilla Super
Yeah.
Glue. Same thing.
Somebody else said they were using that, and they said they really liked it.
Yeah, the only thing is the Gorilla doesn't dry quite as quick. So depending on how fast you want it to dry for you, you know. But this works good. The only thing I find with this is because it's got the squeeze, sometimes you gotta really squeeze the shit out of it before it'll
You
come
gotta
out.
speed it pretty hard.
Yeah, yeah. But,
And then a glop comes out, and I cut
well,
it.
this is actually, with the gel, it's pretty good. It'll come out fairly even when you're putting a lot of pressure on it. But the gel is better, like I said, you put it right where you want it, and it doesn't really soak into the materials that well, or that much.
So you can put a dab on and then put
That's
put
right,
your thread on
Yeah.
after you really got it.
yeah, yeah.
What's it called again?
This is just Ultra Glue, it's called, but it's almost like super glue. You go to, they call it Loctite. You can get Loctite. It's liquid and it's gel, and there's 3 or 4 different thicknesses.
Double clear?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Watch, this time it won't come out. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay, so. And then I'd like to do the, I don't know what you call it, the pinch or whatever you want to call it. This way you get it right where you want it. And then here you can do it 2 ways. You can do the figure 8, or you can just do it, tighten it up or up over top of it. A lot of times I do the figure 8. If you do the figure 8, then you could do Michael's variant in a parachute if you wanted to, and you can still have the split wing because you put the parachute on, you can still have the split wing. You know, so, which Jack Dennis described being a killer, what pattern did he tie that time?
I can't remember.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
he did was he figured the hackle around each post.
Oh, did he do that? Okay, I thought he did one where he did just the parachute and left it split. He still tied around the post, but not the,
He goes up his post with the tackle.
yeah, okay. I wasn't, I thought maybe he did it the other way, but,
Probably
yeah.
did. He was always one of
Well, who knows when he did that, that last time he was here. No. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do here is I put a couple of ties in there, then I'm gonna wrap around it here a couple times just to get it to stand the way I want. And what I'm going to do is just go here to the back. Now, again, like Michael was saying about peacock curl. This is one of the advantages of buying the actual feather. the top of the feather is, you know, the fibers are actually pretty thick. As you go farther down and get into the crappier ones, the hurl is actually pretty small. See how it gets really small now? You can tie your smaller flies. So I grabbed 2 or 3 of those instead of grabbing the great big fat fibers, or if you had a package of them, you know, who knows what you're going to have to, you know, because when you're tying the smaller flies, you want lesser of the hurl. So, and I'll use 3 of them most likely. I could even be a little bit thick on that, but you can see how small the fibers are. The hurl is. It's like it's not big and bushy, because you're doing a smaller fly. You just don't want that size there.
Dennis, how long does it take to set up that gel? What's the time?
Oh,
Minutes?
the minute it's like Zap-A-Gap. The minute you take that air away, it's just about dry.
So you don't get it on your fingers any time?
Not really. I mean, I've put it this way. I've never got my finger stuck to a hook or anything like that, or hook stuck to me that I couldn't get off. You know, yeah, it's still got a little bit of stickiness to it, but by the time you get to taking it off the vise, it's pretty near dry enough that you don't have to worry about it. What's that? Want me to spit my teeth out? So we'll just tie that in. And because of the way I do my parachutes, I'm just going to wrap this up here. Just going to put somewhat of a head. And then I'm going to leave my thread at the base of the wing. And then I tie it over there like that.
No hackle in this fly, Dennis? No hackle?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
yeah. You gotta remember who's tying this, eh? This guy knows what he's doing here. You don't. And I actually try to tie that in right in the post. What's that? And I'm gonna trim that off. Now, this is the easiest way that you can do a parachute. Like I said, I don't know why everybody's not tying it this way.
I like the way you put the hackle or the peacock curl on it, because you really tied that thing in.
Yeah. Bear with me here. I'm Michael, what did I do wrong?
Take the big one, I'm using the big one.
I'm trying to. I broke it, Mike.
He gets his fingers stuck in the
Oh, what you didn't do it?
I don't know what I did to it. Michael, what did I do? There we go. Okay, never mind. Okay, we got. Ah!
Okay, that's what I did, guys, be careful.
No, my flies stuck good enough together that there's not a problem.
See what happens when you don't tie with a deadly gun?
That, you know what? Maybe that's right. Eh? I never thought of that. So, anyways, I'm just gonna make sure I got it around the base here again. And I apologize. I thought I had my brown hackle with me, but I do use brown hackle. But I have tied them with this. It's kind of a golden dun, I think they call it. This is actually, I got this for like cheap at one of the sportsman shows, and this thing has got some of the nicest hackle in it I've ever seen.
It's a badger.
Yeah, they call it golden something. I can't. And I try and get the hackle that's 1 to 2 times bigger than the hook gap, because it's a parachute. And depending on who's tying the parachute, some will tie it so the parachute goes up like this, and some will tie it like that. I try and tie it like that. I don't know why, that's just the way I am. Once I figure out which side is which. And we'll just put 1 or 2 wraps in here.
Dennis, do you ever tie it the opposite way? So that when you're bringing your hackle, you're coming down instead
No,
of going up?
you could do it that way, but I find it doesn't make much of a difference.
I
you
just
know.
found sometimes it's a little easier to cut stay better, you know?
I think I know what you mean, you know, I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other,
Well,
you know,
probably,
yeah,
I don't think fish
yeah.
there.
Well, exactly, yeah. And in a lot of ways, I haven't totally given up on the idea of having it go up this way too, because the way I tie it off, yeah,
You want it to sit lower, you put
Yeah.
the top up and
yeah,
let it sit lower.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So I guess it's the preference of the person, and sometimes when you're wrapping it on, it controls how you do it anyways, because sometimes I'll wrap it on, wrap's not a problem, and the next time I'll put it on exactly the same way, and it'll go the other way, so. But then what I do is, and this is where Bob was talking about, I actually do a half a wrap and then bring it up about as far as I want to bring that hackle, and then I'll start wrapping down.
Oh, okay.
Because I do actually tie off at the bottom too.
Mhm.
And I might have got the hackle just a fuzz big, but I don't think the fish are going to matter. And, come on, and I kind of do a dippy down just to make sure that we don't get too many hackles in there. And I'll do about 3, and then what I'll do is I'll work these up, work the thread up. Because this way, if you tie off at the bottom, a lot of times you tend to catch the odd fiber and stuff like this. This way, when you tie off at the top, then you're not running into that problem. And I think it makes a neater fly. And this is actually the clink hammer way of doing the clink hammer. And I was going somewhere with that, but I forget what I was going to say. But this is the way the clink hammer is done, the same way.
I know that's good, because you don't trap the fiber.
You don't trap the fiber. Oh, I know what I was going to say. A lot of times what he'll do is he'll actually put the body on, whip finish off at the eye, and then he'll take the spider web or 17 or whatever and tie off, start off on the post again, and I've done it that way too. 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, you know. I'm just being lazy instead of, you know, keeping it all flowing up instead of cutting off twice. Oops. Oh, sure. Got the DTs tonight. Too much coffee. Or that could be not enough. And then, I don't normally do it this way, but I'll just trim it off a little bit. It's a little...
How do you normally do it?
I'll take and put it in my hand and cut, angle up one way and angle down the other way. Yeah. But I'll just, instead of being just a little lazy on it. So there you go. And that's using the same materials out of the CFF. I think the major change, if anything, would be the fact that I'm using the poly for a tail. I don't think there's too many mayflies out there that have been created that's using the poly for the tail. I'm sure there's been somewhere that they're using peacock curl for a body, so, you know. But it works good, floats damn good. So, yeah.